Criminal math is pretty straightforward. If you commit a crime and someone sees it, you're done. If you commit a crime and someone is involved with you and talks, you're done. It's the old rule of 3 can keep a secret if 2 are dead.
Hey, y'all, this is when killing a witness goes wrong, part 3. Do your homework.
You beat the case. As far as crime goes, it sounds logical. No witness, no testimony, no conviction. But in Baltimore, Maryland, a series of witness murders between 2015 and 2016 proved just how catastrophically wrong that math can be. What started as healthcare fraud and drug dealing spiraled into multiple murders, each attempt to silence a witness only adding decades or life sentences to the petty cases criminals were facing. This is the story of how killing witnesses turned manageable sentences into mandatory life without parole. This is one of Baltimore's worst trap stories. In June 2015, Matthew Hightower was living large in Baltimore. He ran a healthcare fraud scheme, billing Medicare and Medicaid for services never rendered, pocketing hundreds of thousands of dollars. It was a white-collar crime that typically carried maybe 5 to 10 years if he got caught, but Hightower had a darker secret. On an unknown date prior to 2015...
That's a dumbass crime. To bill Medicare, to bill some federal companies, you billing them for some shit that never happened, and you think you're not going to get caught?
Hightower and an associate named Harry Crawford had murdered a man named David Wuto. Wuto was taken out for owing a sizable debt to Hightower and Crawford. But what mattered was that Wuto was dead and Hightower thought he'd gotten away with it. Then came the whistleblower. Someone inside Hightower's healthcare fraud operation went to federal authorities. They provided detailed information about the billing scheme. But the witness knew more than just about fraudulent Medicare claims. They also had information about David Wuto's murder. When federal agents arrested Hightower in June 2015 on healthcare fraud charges, a judge released him on bond while he awaited trial. This was standard procedure for a non-violent white-collar crime. Hightower walked out of the courthouse, went home, and immediately started plotting. By July or August 2015, Hightower learned the identity of the witness. He knew this person could bury him, not just on fraud charges, but on murder. And unlike fraud, murder meant life in prison. So Hightower started making calls. His best friends were 2 men named Davon Carter and Clifton Mosley. Both were career criminals with extensive records. Carter ran a marijuana distribution business. Mosley dealt drugs as well, and both men worked alongside Hightower. Their buddy had a problem. He was out on bond with strict release conditions. He wasn't supposed to be contacting any witnesses. If the judge found out he was tampering with witnesses, he'd be thrown back in jail immediately. So he enlisted Carter and Mosley to do his dirty work. The plan was simple: find the witness and kill them. On the streets, taking a life means rising up fast, so of course they agreed. But federal investigators were watching. They saw Hightower violating his release conditions by contacting grand jury witnesses. The grand jury was already investigating crimes of violence Hightower was implicated in, including David Wuto's murder. On April 19, 2016,
why would you go try to kill somebody knowing that you just got locked up? Y'all always ask me to show y'all exactly how to get rich on YouTube, so I made a full-blown course. It's not complete yet, but you can order it right now. There's 5 hours of content in it right now. It'll be like 12 or 15-hour full course once it's done. It'll be done by April 1st, all right? So click the link in the description, get your course, and start learning how to really get rich on YouTube. I'm not just no one-hit wonder type guy. No, I have more than 40 channels that make me hundreds of thousands of dollars all together every single month. Like, I'm checking straight bags off of this, just sitting in my crib, recording, making videos. So if you want to learn exactly how I do it, I'm showing you how to clip farm, how to edit, how to upload, how to make thumbnails, how to develop your character, how to make shorts, how to make clips, right? I'm giving you every piece of every single type of strategy that you will ever need to get rich on YouTube. So click that link. It's not a super cheap course, but it ain't expensive. It's only $150. And if you use the code MACMULA, you could get 20% off of that $150. So go get you some money. And you out on bond. Why would you go kill them? Like, I mean, I get the reason behind it, but it's like, that's just fucking stupid.
Jury returned a sealed...
Especially for the white collar crime. Like, I don't know about y'all. If I'm going to do my little 5 years, folks. I ain't gonna lie. Because if you kill somebody and get caught, you ain't getting out. Okay? So life versus 5 years is a big ass... That's a stretch, man.
Superseding indictment. They charged Hightower and Harry Crawford with extortion and using interstate facilities for extortion resulting in death, which is the federal charge for murder. Specifically, David Wuto's murder. But Carter and Mosley were still out on the streets, and they still had their orders. Kill the witness.
Kill the witness. So they was already on them for the murder, and now they want to kill the witness to the murder.
Still out on the streets, and they still had their orders.
You already got
Kill
the
the witness. The witness lived in Baltimore's Silburn neighborhood, in the 2900 block of Rosalind Avenue. It was a quiet residential area where people knew their neighbors. The witness lived in a house next door to a woman named Latrina Ashburn. Latrina, 41 years old, lived with her mother, and every morning she walked out of her house, got into her car, and drove to work. She had absolutely nothing to do with Matthew Hightower, healthcare fraud, or David Wuto's murder. She didn't even know who these people were. On the night of May 26, 2016, Clifton Mosley sat at a computer and searched a public court database. FBI evidence later showed he was looking up court appearance information for the witness. If the witness had a court appearance scheduled for May 27th, Mosley could figure out approximately what time the witness would leave home that morning. That same night, Carter and Mosley drove through the Silburn neighborhood. Surveillance cameras captured 2 vehicles moving slowly through the area. One vehicle was owned by the mother of Carter's girlfriend. The other was owned by Hightower. Around dawn on May 27th,
y'all took 2. Y'all listen to how stupid these niggas is. They already got locked up by the feds, okay, for murder and fraud. So now they going to kill this witness in their girlfriend car. One of them is in a girlfriend car. The other one is in their car.
Stupid. What?
16. Latrina Ashburn walked out of her house to go to work. She got into her car parked outside her home when a man approached her, shot her multiple times in the upper body as she tried to flee, and fled. A neighbor heard the shots and looked outside. They saw Latrina on the ground. Police later released surveillance video showing the suspect fleeing the scene. Latrina Ashburn died that morning. She was not robbed, nothing was taken. This was a plain and simple execution, but it was the wrong execution. The witness, the person Carter and Mosley were trying to kill, lived next door. She contacted law enforcement immediately after the murder to report what happened.
So they didn't even kill the witness. They killed the lady that lived next door. Just fucking just stupid as fuck. Just dumbass, just a bunch of dumbass niggas. You understand how dumb the nigga gotta be to go kill somebody in their car?
Told him she believed she was the intended target, and she was right. Latrina Ashburn left her home at approximately the same time the witness would have left for her court appearance. The killers were watching the wrong house, or they couldn't tell which house was which. Either way, they murdered an innocent woman who had nothing to do with anything.
Up, bro. That's so fucked.
Carter and Mosley didn't just fail to kill the right person. They'd now murdered a completely innocent bystander, and they'd done it while trying to obstruct a federal investigation. While Hightower sat in jail, his case moved forward. On September 22nd, 2016, after a 7-day trial, a federal jury convicted Matthew Hightower of extortion, resulting in David Wuto's murder. The judge sentenced him to 380 months in federal prison. That's 31 years and 8 months. That was just for the original murder. Hightower would eventually face additional charges related to witness tampering once prosecutors built their case against Carter and Mosley. With Hightower locked up, David Carter took over his marijuana distribution business. Carter started communicating directly with Hightower's source of supply. He collected money and ran errands for Hightower. Business continued, but FBI agents were building their case. They had the surveillance video. They had cell phone records placing Mosley's phone in the area at the time of—
I knew this was as soon as you told me as soon as Nick told me they was in the car, in their own car going to kill somebody. Listen to how stupid these niggas is. This is why, listen, you gotta be on point at all times, because a dumb motherfucker will kill you thinking they killing somebody else. So listen, they went to the witness house. They had the wrong witness. They killed the wrong lady. Which means they didn't do no type of research at all. They killed the wrong lady in their car. I knew they was gonna have their phone in their pocket. For sure.
The murder and in contact with Carter's phone. They had the vehicles on camera. They had Mosley's search of the court database. They had witness testimony from the neighbor who saw the shooter run away. On December 20th, 2017, federal prosecutors unsealed an indictment against David Carter. He was charged with 2 counts of conspiracy to murder a witness, 1 count of witness retaliation murder, 1 count of witness tampering murder, being a felon in possession of ammunition the day of the murder, and possession with intent to distribute marijuana. For the witness murder charges, Carter faced a possible death sentence or mandatory life in prison. Clifton Mosley was indicted separately on similar charges. The case went to trial in January 2020. For 3 weeks, federal prosecutors laid out the evidence. The evidence showed a clear conspiracy. Hightower ordered the hit. Carter and Mosley scouted the location. They stalked the witness's neighborhood. They planned to kill her on her way to court. They shot and killed Latrina Ashburn by mistake. Prosecutors presented recorded jailhouse calls between the defendants. They showed financial records proving Carter took over Hightower's drug business. They demonstrated that Carter and Mosley weren't just friends of Hightower, they were active participants in his criminal enterprise. The trial lasted 3 weeks. On January 29, 2020, the jury reached its verdict. Guilty on all counts. Davin Carter, at the age of just 39, was guilty of 2 counts of conspiracy to murder a witness, guilty of witness retaliation murder, guilty of witness tampering murder, and many other drug-related offenses. Same with Clifton Mosley. Both men faced mandatory life sentences on multiple counts. On May 20th, 2021, U.S. District Judge George J. Hazel sentenced Davin Carter to 4 consecutive life sentences, one for each of the 2 conspiracy counts.
Get his ass right the fuck up out of here. Get his goofy ass right up out of here, bro. Like, clown the fuck out.
1 for the witness retaliation murder, and 1 for the witness tampering murder, plus additional years for the drug charges. Carter will never walk free. He will die in federal prison. On a separate date, Judge Hazel sentenced Clifton Mosley to 4 consecutive life sentences as well. Same charges, same mandatory sentences. Mosley will also die in federal prison. So now let's do the math on what these crimes actually cost them. Matthew Hightower's original healthcare fraud charge was probably like 5 to 10 years in federal prison. He could have served his time and been out by his 50s, maybe earlier with good behavior. Instead, he got involved in David Watteau's murder. That got him 31 years and 8 months, plus additional time for Latrina Ashburn's murder. Davin Carter and Clifton Mosley were running.
And what did you get out of the whole situation? Absolutely fucking nothing. This is why I tell y'all that the street shit is stupid. You gonna go kill 14, 15, 16 people, and everybody gonna think you cool as hell. And then you gonna go to jail for the rest of your life. So is it worth a few dumbass niggas in the hood thinking you cool? Is the rest of your life in prison worth that? Because the damn show ain't to me.
Distribution operations. Federal marijuana charges in 2016 typically meant 5 to 10 years, maybe 15 for a big operation. Instead, they agreed to kill a witness for their friend. They murdered the wrong woman. Now they each have 4 consecutive life sentences. And the witness they were trying to kill is still alive. She testified and the case proceeded anyway. Hightower got convicted, Carter and Mosley got convicted. The original healthcare fraud case and murder case both ended in convictions despite their attempts to interfere. The Baltimore case proves a simple truth. Witness murder doesn't make your case go away. It creates new cases, much worse cases, cases with mandatory life sentences. And Latrina Ashburn, who had nothing to do with any of this, lost her life because 3 criminals thought killing a witness would solve their problems.
Stupid motherfucker.